Shakespeare's Histories, The King's Shadow, Episode 5. King Henry IV sees England's people dividing once again. The expectation of civil war grows every day due to the rift with his former allies, the powerful and wealthy Percy family. They helped Henry win his throne, but now chafe at his treatment of Edmund Mortimer, who some believe to have a greater claim to the crown. While a prisoner in Wales, Mortimer married Owen Glendower's daughter. The Countess of Worcester and her nephew Hotspur now travel to Wales to join this new political alliance.
These promises are fair, the party's sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope.
Lord Mortimer! And Cousin Glendower. Will you sit down? And my Aunt Worcester... Plague upon it! I have forgot the map.
No, your it is. Sit, Cousin Percy. Sit, good cousin Hotspur. For by that name, as oft as Lancaster doth speak of you, his cheek looks pale, and with a rising sigh he wisheth you in heaven.
And you in hell, as oft as he hears Owen Glendower speak.
I cannot blame him. At my nativity, the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, of burning cressets, and at my birth, the frame and huge foundation of the earth shaked like a coward.
Why, so it would have done at the same season if your mother's cat had but kittened, though yourself had never been born.
The heavens were all on fire. The earth did tremble.
Oh, then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire and not in fear of your nativity.
Cousin, of many men I do not bear these crossings. Give me leave to tell you once again that at my birth the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes. The goats ran from the mountains, and the herds were strangely clamorous to the frighted fields. These signs have marked me extraordinary.
I think there's no man speaks better Welsh. Out to dinner.
Peace, Cousin Percy, you will make him mad.
I can call spirits from the vasty deep.
Why, so can I, or so can anyone. But will they come when you do call for them?
Oh, why, I can teach thee, cousin, to command the devil.
And I can teach thee, cuz, to shame the devil by telling truth. Tell truth and shame the devil.
Come. No more of this unprofitable chat.
Come, here is the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order ta'en?
The Archdeacon hath divided it into 3 limits very equally. England from Trent and Severn hitherto, by south and east, is to my part assigned. All westward Wales beyond the Severn shore, and all the fertile land within that bound to Owen Glendower, and dear cuz to you, the remnant northward lying off from Trent. And our indentures tripartite are drawn, which, being sealed interchangeably, a business that this night may execute, tomorrow, Cousin Percy, you and I and my good Lady Worcester will set forth to meet your father and the Scottish power as is appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father Glendower is not ready yet, nor shall we need his help these 14 days.
Oh, shorter time shall send me to you, lords, and in my conduct shall your ladies come, from whom now you must steal and take no leave, for there will be a world of water shed upon the parting of your wives and you.
Methinks my moiety, north from Burton here, in quantity equals not one of yours. See how this river comes me cranking in, and cuts me from the best of all my land. I'll have the current in this place dammed up. It shall not wind with such a deep indent to rob me of so rich a bottom here.
Not wind? It shall. It must, you see, it doth.
Yea, but a little charge will trench him here, and on this north side win this cape of land, and then he runs straight and even.
I'll have it so. A little charge will do it.
I'll not have it altered.
Will not you?
No, nor you shall not.
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you, then. Speak it in Welsh!
I can speak English, lord, as well as you. Come, you shall have Trent turn.
I do not care! I'll give thrice so much land to any well-deserving friend. But in the way of bargain, mark you me, I'll cavil on the 9th part of a hair. Are the indentures drawn? Shall we be gone?
Haste the writer, and withal break with your wives of your departure hence. I am afraid my daughter will run mad, so much she doateth on her Mortimer.
Fie, Cousin Percy, how you cross my father!
I cannot choose. Sometime he angers me with telling me of the moldwarp and the ant, and of a dragon and a finless fish, and such a deal of scamble stuff as puts me from my faith. Ugh! I had rather live with cheese and garlic in a windmill far than feed on cates and have him talk to me in any summer house in Christendom.
In faith, he is a worthy gentleman, exceedingly well-read and profited in strange concealments, valiant as a lion, and wondrous affable. Shall I tell you, cousin? He holds your temper in a high respect, and curbs himself even of his natural scope when you do cross his humor. Faith, he does!
In faith, my lord, you are to willful blame. You must needs learn, lord, to amend this fault, though sometimes it show greatness, courage, blood. Yet oftentimes it doth present harsh rage, defect of manners, want of government, the least of which, haunting a nobleman, loseth men's hearts and leaves behind a stain upon the beauty of all parts besides, beguiling them of commendation.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners be your speed. Oh, here come our wives, and let us take our leave.
Fyddech chi'n gadael heb farwelio am I? A fyddech chi?
This is the deadly spite that angers me. My wife can speak no English. I know Welsh.
Nid yrech yn fyng gadael I. Mi af gyda hi.
Oh, my daughter weeps. She'll not part with you. She'll be a soldier too. She'll to the wars.
Good father, tell her that she and my Aunt Percy shall follow in your conduct speedily.
Aquí the lane un gogaval de vodra Percy. Ac va weli de Mortimer.
Hier aeth yw pob aros. Ond pwy a wir na welaf mo honno bydd. O, fyn had. Gadw chi mi fynd gyda gef. Nid oes arnaf ofyn yn ryfeloedd, in wir.
Oh, no, delay.
Mi achlaf aros hebddo fe. Rhaid I mi fynd a chaiff nefang waharthwaith.
She is desperate here. A peevish, self-willed harlotry, one that no persuasion can do good upon. Oh, ve merk. Urnedau, on gimraeg. Badwch an emenefgar.
O, fyng hariad. Nid oes angen geirio arnam ni. Wi bod suti o ridi mi'n taimlo. Ein bod ni'n dwi. Dynas ei dyn. Y Saesneg, Chymraeg. Eto e rydym ni'r un peth. Dwi galon un dehead. Dwi dafod ond un iaith. Dwi raff o'n cyddio yn ddolen. Daw enaid ond un daith.
I understand thy kisses, and thou mine. But I will never be a truant, love, till I have learned thy language. For thy tongue makes Welsh as sweet as ditties highly penned, sung by a fair queen in a summer's bower.
Dwedwch wrtho fo am orwedd ar gorffeithio yn embedding fi'n nin?
Oh, gaeth, me pawb, sy'n
A
carwyn.
bydd a fi'n canw candrys iddo sy'n gynoed iddo gysgwr.
Oh, I am ignorance itself in this.
She bids you, rest your gentle head upon her lap, and she will sing the song that pleaseth you, and on your eyelids crown the god of sleep.
With all my heart, I'll sit and hear her sing. By that time will our book, I think, be drawn.
Do so. And those musicians that shall play to you hang in the air 1,000 leagues from thence, and straight they shall be your. Sit and attend.
Come, Kate. Thou art perfect in lying down. Come, quick, that I may lay my head in thy lap.
Go, you giddy goose.
Now I perceive the devil understands Welsh. And 'tis no marvel he is so humorous, by our lady, he is a good musician.
Then should you be nothing but musical, for you are altogether governed by humours. Lie still, you thief, and hear the lady sing in
I'd
Welsh.
rather hear Lady My Hound howl in Irish.
Wouldst have thy head broken?
No,
Then be still.
neither. 'Tis a woman's fault.
Now God help
To
thee.
the Welsh lady's bed.
What's that?
Peace. She sings. I'll have your song too.
Not mine, in good sooth.
Not yours, in good sooth. Heart, you swear like a comfit maker's wife. Not you, in good sooth, and as true as I live, and as God shall mend me, and as sure as day. Swear me, Kate, like a lady as thou art, a good mouth-filling oath, and leave, in sooth, and such protest of peppered gingerbread to velvet guards and Sunday citizens. Come, sing.
I will not sing.
Be drawn, I'll away within these 2 hours, and so come in when you will.
Calm, Lord Mortimer. You are as slow as hot Lord Percy is on fire to go. By this our book is drawn. We'll but seal, and then to horse immediately.
With all my heart.
At the royal palace, Prince Hal is summoned to a private audience with his father.
I know not whether God will have it so for some displeasing service I have done, that in his secret doom out of my blood he'll breed revengement and a scourge for me. But thou dost in thy passages of life make me believe that thou art only marked for the hot vengeance and the rod of heaven to punish my mistreadings. Tell me else. Could such inordinate and low desires, such barren pleasures, rude society as thou art matched withal, and grafted to, accompany the greatness of thy blood, and hold their level with thy princely heart?
So please your majesty, I would I could quit all offences with as clear excuse, as well as I am doubtless I can purge myself of many I am charged withal. Yet such extenuation let me beg, as in reproof of many tales devised, I may for some things true, wherein my youth hath faulty wandered and irregular, find pardon on my true submission.
God pardon thee. Yet let me wonder, Harry, at thy affections, which do hold a wing quite from the flight of all thy ancestors. Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, which by thy younger brother is supplied, and art almost an alien to the hearts of all the court and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every one prophetically do forethink thy fall. Had I so lavish of my presence been, so stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion, that did help me to the crown, had still kept loyal to possession, and left me in reputeless banishment. By being seldom seen, I could not stir, but like a comet I was wondered at. The skipping king, he ambled up and down, grew a companion to the common streets, that being daily swallowed by men's eyes, they surfeited with honey, and began to loathe the taste of sweetness, whereof a little more than a little is by much too much, being with his presence glutted, gorged, and full. And in that very line, Harry, standst thou, for thou hast lost thy princely privilege with vile participation. Not an eye but is aweary of thy common sight, save mine, which hath desired to see thee more. Which now doth that I would not have it do, make blind itself with foolish tenderness.
I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world, as thou art to this hour, was Richard then, when I from France set foot at Ravenspur, and even as I was then is Percy now. He hath more worthy interest to the state than thou, the shadow of succession. For of no right, nor colour like to right, he doth fill fields with harness in the realm, and being no more in debt to years than thou, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops on to bloody battles and to bruising arms. And what say you to this? Percy, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer, capitulate against us and are up. But wherefore do I tell these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which art my nearest and dearest enemy? Thou that art like enough through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen, to fight against me under Percy's pay, to dog his heels and curtsy at his frowns, to show how much thou art degenerate.
Do not think so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the closing of some glorious day be bold to tell you that I am your son. And that shall be the day whene'er it lights that this same child of honor and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For every honor sitting on his helm would they were multitudes, and on my head my shames redoubled, for the time will come that I shall make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. This in the name of God I promise here, the which if he be pleased I shall perform. If not, the end of life cancels all bonds, and I will die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow.
100,000 rebels die in this. Thou shalt have charge and sovereign trust herein. How now, good Blunt? Thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business that I come to speak of. Lady Dunbar of Scotland hath sent word that Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury.
The Countess Westmoreland shall forth today. With her, my son, Lord John of Lancaster, for this advertisement is 5 days old. On Wednesday next, Harry, you shall set forward. On Thursday we ourselves will march. Our hands are full of business. Let's away. Advantage feeds him fat while men delay.
Bardolph, am I not fallen away vilely since this last action? Do I not dwindle? Why, my skin hangs about me like an old lady's loose gown. Well, I'll repent, and that suddenly, while I'm in some liking. Company, villainous company, hath been the spoil of me.
Sir John, you are so fretful you cannot live long.
Why, there is it. I was as virtuously given as a gentleman need to be. Virtuous enough. Swore little. Diced not above 7 times a week. Went to a bawdy house not above once in a quarter of an hour. Paid money that I borrowed 3 or 4 times. Lived well and in good compass. And now I live out of all order, out of all compass.
Why, you are so fat, Sir John, that you must needs be out of all compass, out of all reasonable compass, Sir John.
Do thou amend thy face, and I'll amend my life.
Why, Sir John, my face does you no harm.
No, I'll be sworn I make as good use of it as many do of a death's head or a memento mori. I never see thy face, but I think upon hellfire.
Blood, I would my face were in your belly.
God a mercy, so should I be sure to be heartburned. How now, Dame Partlet the hen? Have you inquired yet who picked my pocket?
Why, Sir John, what do you think, Sir John? Do you think I keep thieves in my house? The tithe of a hair was never lost in my house before.
You lie, hostess. Bardolph was shaved and lost many a hair. And I'll be sworn my pocket was picked. Go to, I know you well enough.
No, Sir John, you do not know me, Sir John. I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John, and now you pick a quarrel to beguile me of it. You owe money, Sir John, for your diet and buy drinkings, and money lent you 24 pounds.
Bardolph had his part of it, let him pay.
Alas, he is poor, he hath nothing.
How poor? Look upon his face. What call you rich? Let them coin his nose, let them coin his cheeks. Shall I not take mine ease in mine inn, but I shall have my pocket picked? I've lost a seal ring of my grandfather's worth 40 mark.
Oh, Jesu, I have heard the prince tell him, I know not how oft, that ring was copper.
How? The prince is a jack, a sneak cup. His blood, and if he were here, I would cudgel him like a dog if he would say so.
Boom! Boom!
How now, lad, is the wind in that door of faith? Must we all march?
Yea, 2 and 2, Newgate fashion!
Oh, death, rock me asleep. Bring me on quiet rest.
Yet pass my guiltless ghost out of my careful breast. Toll on the passing bell, ring out the doleful knell. Let the sound of my death tell, for I must die, for now I die.
My lord, I pray you hear me.
What sayest thou, mistress, quickly?
Riti, let her alone and list to me.
What sayest thou, Jack?
The other night, I fell asleep here, behind the arras, and had my pocket picked.
What didst thou lose, Jack?
Wilt thou believe me, Hal, 3 or 4 bonds of £40 apiece, and a seal ring of my grandfather's.
A trifle, some 8-penny matter.
So I told him, my lord, and I said I heard your grace say so. And, my lord, he speaks most vilely of you like a foul-mouthed man, as he is, and said he would cudgel you.
What? He did not.
There's neither faith, truth, nor womanhood in me out.
There's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune. Go, you thing, go.
Say, what thing, what thing?
What thing? Why, a thing to thank God on.
I am no thing to thank God on, I would thou shouldst know it. I am an honest man's wife, and setting thy knighthood aside, thou art a knave to call me so.
Setting thy womanhood aside, thou art a beast to say otherwise.
Say what beast, thou knave, thou.
What beast? Why, an otter.
An otter, Sir John.
Why an otter?
Why, she's neither fish nor flesh. A man knows not where to have her.
Thou art an unjust man in saying so. Thou or any man knows where to have me, thou knave, thou.
Thou sayest true, hostess, and he slanders thee most grossly.
So he doth you, my lord, and said this other day you owed him £1,000.
Sirrah, do I owe you £1,000?
£1,000, Hal? 1,000,000. Thy love is worth 1,000,000.
Thou owest me thy love.
Nay, my lord, he called you Jack and said he would cudgel you.
Did I, Bardolph?
Indeed, Sir John, you said so.
Yea, if he said my ring was copper.
I say 'tis copper. Darest thou be as good as thy word now?
Why, Hal, thou knowest as thou art but a man, I dare, but as thou art a prince, I fear thee as I fear the roaring of the lion's whelp.
And why not as the lion?
The king himself is to be feared as the lion. Dost thou think I'll fear thee as I fear thy father? Nay, if I do, I pray God my girdle break.
Oh, if it should, how would thy guts fall about thy knees? But, Sirrah, there's no room for faith, truth, nor honesty in this bosom of thine. It is all filled up with guts at midriff. Charge an honest woman with picking thy pocket? Why, thou whoreson, impudent, embossed rascal, if there were anything in thy pocket but tavern reckonings, memorandums of bawdy houses, and 1 poor pennyworth of sugar candy to make thee long-winded, I'm a villain. Art thou not ashamed?
You confess, then, you picked my pocket.
It appears so by the story.
Hostess, I forgive thee. Go, make ready breakfast. Love thy husband, look to thy servants, cherish thy guests. Thou seest I am pacified still. Nay, prithee, begone! Ugh! Now, Hal, to the news at court. For the robbery, lad, how is that answered?
Oh, my sweet beef, I must still be good angel to thee. The money is paid back again.
Oh, I do not like that paying back. 'Tis a double labor.
I am good friends with my father, and may do anything.
Rob me the exchequer, the first thing thou dost, and do it with unwashed hands, too.
Do, my lord.
I have procured thee, Jack, a charge of foot.
Now, would it have been of horse?
Bardolph,
My lord.
go bear this letter to Lord John of Lancaster. To my brother John. This to my lady Westmoreland. Go, Peto, to horse, for thou and I have 30 miles to ride yet ere dinner time.
Sir.
The land is burning, Percy stands on high, and either we or they must lower lie.
Rare words, brave world. Hostess, my breakfast, come! Oh, I could wish this tavern were my drum.
Hotspur encamps his army near Shrewsbury on the Welsh border. He and his Aunt Worcester have convinced the Countess Douglas of Scotland to aid their cause against King Henry. They await the arrival of Glendower and Northumberland to bolster their numbers.
What letters hast thou there? I can but thank you.
These letters come from your father.
Letters from him? Why comes he not himself?
He cannot come, my lord. He is grievous sick.
Zoom! How has he the leisure to be sick in such a jostling time? Who leads his power?
His letters bear his mind, not I, my lord.
I prithee, tell me, doth he keep his bed?
Did, lady. 4 days ere I set forth, and at the time of my departure thence, he was much feared by his physicians.
I would the state of time had first been whole, ere he by sickness had been visited. His health was never better worth than now.
Yet doth he give us bold advertisement, that with our small conjunction we should on, to see how fortune is disposed to us. For as he writes, there is no quailing now, because the king is certainly possessed of all our purposes. What say you to it?
Your father's sickness is a maim to us. The quality and hair of our attempt brooks no division. It will be thought by some that know not why he is away, that wisdom, loyalty, and mere dislike of our proceedings kept the earl from hence. And think how such an apprehension may turn the tide of fearful faction and breed a kind of question in our cause. This absence of your father's draws a curtain that shows the ignorant a kind of fear before not dreamt.
Strain too far. I rather of his absence make this use. It lends a luster and more great opinion, a larger dare to our great enterprise than if the earl were here. For men must think, if we, without his help, can make a head to push against a kingdom, with his help we shall o'erturn it topsy-turvy down. Yet all goes well, yet all our joints are whole.
As heart can think. There is not such a word spoke of in Scotland as this term of fear.
My cousin Vernon, welcome, by my soul.
Pray God my news be worth a welcome, lord. The Countess Westmoreland, 7,000 strong, is marching hitherwards with her Prince John.
No harm, what more?
And further I have learned, the king himself in person is set forth with strong and mighty preparation.
He shall be welcome too. Where is his son, the nimble-footed madcap, Prince of Wales, and his comrades, that daft the world aside and bid it pass?
Well, all furnished, all in arms, as full of spirit as the month of May. I saw young Harry with his beaver on rise from the ground like feathered Mercury and vaulted with such ease into his seat as if an angel dropped down from the clouds to turn and wind a fiery Pegasus and witch the world with noble horsemanship.
No more! Worse than the sun in March, this praise doth nourish agues. Let them come. They come like sacrifices in their trim. The mailed Mars shall on his altar sit, up to the ears in blood. Come, let me taste my horse, who is to bear me like a thunderbolt against the bosom of the Prince of Wales. Harry to Harry shall, hot horse to horse, meet and ne'er part till one drop down a corpse. Oh, that Glendower were come!
There is more news. I learned in Worcester as I rode along, he cannot draw his power this 14 days.
And that's the worst tidings that I hear of yet.
Aye, by my faith, that bears a frosty sound.
What may the king's whole battle reach unto?
To 30,000?
40, let it be. My father and Glendower being both away, the powers of us may serve so great a day. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all. Die merrily.
Talk not of dying. I am out of fear of death or this hand for this 1/2 year.
While the rebels consider their plan of attack, the royal army also gathers their forces. Prince Hal has given Falstaff command of an infantry unit, charging him to conscript soldiers on the way to Shrewsbury.
Bardolph! Get thee before to Coventry. Fill me a bottle of sack, our soldiers shall march through.
Will you give me money, Captain?
Lay out, lay out!
This bottle makes an angel!
I'll answer the coinage! Bid my Lieutenant Peto meet me at town's end.
I will, Captain. Farewell.
If I be not ashamed of my soldiers, I'm a soused gurnet. I have misused the king's press damnably. I have got, in exchange of 150 soldiers, 300 and odd pounds. I press me none but good householders, yeomen's sons, inquire me out contracted bachelors. Such a commodity has had his leaf hear the devil as a drum, and they have bought out their services. and now my whole charge consists of such as indeed were never soldiers, but discarded unjust servants, younger sons to younger brothers, revolted tapsters, and ostlers trade-fallen, the cankers of a calm world and a long peace. A mad fellow met me on the way and told me I had unloaded all the gibbets and pressed the dead bodies. No eye hath seen such scarecrows. I'll not march through Coventry with them, that's flat.
How now, blown Jack? How now, Quill?
What how? How now, mad wag? What a devil dost thou in Warwickshire? My good lady Westmoreland, I cry you mercy. I thought your honor had already been at Shrewsbury.
Faith, Sir John, 'tis more than time that I were there and you too, but my powers are there already. The king, I can tell you, looks for us all. We must away all tonight.
Tut, never fear me. I am as vigilant as a cat to steal cream.
I think to steal cream indeed, for thy heft hath already made thee butter. But tell me, Jack, whose fellers are these that come after?
Mine, Hal, mine.
I did never see such pitiful rascals.
Tut, tut. Good enough to toss. Food for powder, food for powder. They'll fill a pit as well as better. Tush man, mortal men, mortal men.
Aye, but Sir John, methinks they are exceeding poor and bare, too beggarly.
Faith, for their poverty, I know not where they had that. And for their bareness, I'm sure they never learned that of me.
No, I'll be sworn, unless you call 3 fingers on the ribs bare. But, sirrah, make haste. Percy is already in the field.
What, is the king encamped?
He is, Sir John. I fear we shall stay too long.
Well, to the latter end of a fray and the beginning of a feast fits a dull fighter and a keen guest.
We'll fight with him tonight.
It may not be.
You give them then advantage.
Not a whit! Why say you so? Looks he not for supply?
So do we.
His is certain, ours is doubtful.
Good cousin, be advised, stir not tonight.
Do not, my lord.
You do not counsel well. You speak it out of fear and cold heart.
Do me no slander, Douglas. By my life, I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, my lady, or any Scot that this day lives. Let it be seen tomorrow in the battle which of us fears.
Yea, or tonight.
Content.
Tonight, say I.
The number of the king exceedeth ours. For God's sake, cousin, stay till all come in.
We must cry charge into the field.
I come with gracious offers from the king, if you vouchsafe me hearing and respect.
Welcome, Sir Walter Blunt, and would to God you were of our determination. Some of us love you well, and even though some envy your great deservings and good name, because you are not of our quality, but stand against us like an enemy.
And God defend, but still I should stand so long as out of limit and true rule you stand against anointed majesty. But to my charge. The king hath sent to know the nature of your griefs, and whereupon you conjure from the breast of civil peace such bold hostility. If that the king have any way your good deserts forgot, he bids you name your griefs, and with all speed you shall have your desires with interest, and pardon absolute for yourself, and these herein misled by your suggestion.
The king is kind, and well we know the king knows at what time to promise, when to pay. For when he was not 26 strong, a poor, unminded outlaw sneaking home, my father gave him welcome to the shore. And when he heard him swear and vow to God he came but to be Duke of Lancaster, my father, in kind heart and pity moved, swore him assistance, and performed it, too. Now, when the lords and barons of the realm perceived Northumberland did lean to him, the more and less came in with cap and knee, laid gifts before him, proffered him their oaths. He, presently, as greatness knows itself, steps me a little higher than his vow made to my father while his blood was poor, cries out upon abuses, seems to weep over his country's wrongs, and by this face, this seeming brow of justice, did he win the hearts of all that he did angle for. Then to the point, in short time after, he deposed the king. Soon after that, deprived him of his life. To make that worse, suffered his kinsman, Mortimer, who is, if every owner were well placed, indeed his king, to be hostage in Wales. Disgraced me in my happy victories. Raided mine aunt here from the council board. In rage, dismissed my father from the court. Broke oath on oath. committed wrong on wrong, and in conclusion drove us to seek out this head of safety and withal to pry into his title, the which we find too indirect for long continuance.
Shall I return this answer to the king?
Not so, Sir Walter. We'll withdraw a while, and in the morning early shall mine aunt bring him our purposes, and so farewell.
I would you would accept of grace and love.
And maybe so we shall.
Pray God you do.
The armies prepare for a final conflict at Shrewsbury, but news of the rebellion is spreading across England, and Worcester has been building further support. In York, the Archbishop Scrope, whose brother was executed for treason in the Oxford plot, gathers his own coalition should the Percy alliance fail to defeat King Henry.
Hi, Sister Mary, bear this sealed brief with wicked haste to the Lord Marshal, this to my cousin Scrope, and all the rest to whom they are directed. If you knew how much they do import, you would make haste.
My good lord, I guess their tenor.
Like enough you do. Tomorrow, Sister Mary, is a day wherein the fortune of 10,000 souls must bide the touch. For there, at Shrewsbury, the king with mighty and quick-raised power meets with Lord Harry. I fear the power of Percy is too weak to wage an instant trial with the king.
Why, my good lord, you need not fear. There is Douglas and Lord Mortimer.
No, Mortimer is not there.
But there is Morday, Vernon, Lord Harry Percy, and there is my Lady Worcester, and a head of gallant warriors, noble gentlemen. Doubt not, my lord, he shall be well opposed.
I hope no less, yet needful 'tis to fear, and to prevent the worst, good Mary, speed. For if Lord Percy thrive not, ere the king dismiss his power, he means to visit us, for he hath heard of our confederacy, and 'tis but wisdom to make strong against him. Therefore make haste. I must go right again to other friends, and so farewell, good Mary.
You've been listening to Shakespeare's Histories, Season 1, The King's Shadow, presented by Brave Spirits Theatre, directed by Charlene V. Smith. This recording is produced and edited by Patrick Flynn.